You press play, and for a moment, nothing really happens, just sound soft, repetitive, almost too simple to feel like it's doing anything at all. No instructions, no effort required, just listening, which is exactly why most people underestimate it, because from the outside, a 12-minute brainwave audio session doesn't look like much, but internally, something more subtle begins to unfold. At first, your mind keeps doing what it always does, thinking, drifting, jumping between ideas. You might even feel restless, wondering if you're doing it right, or if anything is actually changing. And that's where most people get it wrong, because they expect a dramatic shift, something obvious. But the early phase isn't about immediate results. It's about transition. Your brain doesn't switch states instantly, it adjusts gradually. Almost like your eyes adapting to darkness. At the beginning, the sound feels external, separate from you, just something you're hearing in the background, but as the minutes pass, your awareness starts to shift. The constant mental noise begins to soften, not disappear completely, but lose intensity. Thoughts feel less urgent, less demanding, and without realizing it, your brain starts responding to the structure of the sound. This is where rhythm begins to matter, because the audio isn't random, it follows patterns, subtle, consistent, repeated, and your brain naturally reacts to patterns. It starts aligning with them, not consciously, but automatically, like tapping your foot to music without deciding to. This phase is easy to miss, because nothing feels forced. There's no moment where everything suddenly clicks. Instead, it feels like a gradual shift in pressure, from effort to ease. Your breathing slows slightly, your body relaxes, and your attention becomes more stable, not sharper in an intense way, but quieter, more controlled. This is where the experience starts to change, because now, your brain is no longer fighting for focus. It's settling into a different state, and that state influences how information flows, how different parts of the brain communicate, how easily you can stay present. Some describe it as clarity, others as calm focus, but the important part isn't the label. It's the transition itself, from scattered activity to more organized patterns. This is also where certain types of brain activity become more likely to appear, including faster, more synchronized patterns often associated with high-level processing, not because you forced it, but because the conditions started to support it. And that's the key difference. Most people try to control results directly, focus harder, think clearer, stay disciplined, but during these sessions, the approach is different. You're not controlling the output. You're influencing the environment that shapes it, and once that environment shifts, the experience of thinking begins to change with it. By the later minutes, something subtle but noticeable happens. Your mind feels lighter, less resistance, less internal friction. You're still aware, still thinking, but without the same level of noise, and that creates a different kind of mental space. One where focus doesn't feel forced, where attention holds more naturally, where the brain feels aligned and not perfect, but more efficient. Then the session ends, and this is where expectations can get misleading again, because the effect isn't always dramatic. You don't suddenly become a different person, but there's often a noticeable contrast. A sense that your mind is more settled, more ready, more responsive, and over time, that contrast becomes easier to recognize. The real issue isn't that people can't focus. It's that they rarely experience what it feels like when the brain is in a supportive state. Once you experience the difference, even briefly, it changes how you approach everything else, because now you're not just chasing results. You're paying attention to the conditions behind them. If you want to explore this deeper, there's a structured breakdown in the description that explains how these sessions are being used and what to look for. And if this kind of explanation helps you understand your own mental patterns more clearly, you can subscribe for more content like this, because sometimes small shifts in state create bigger shifts in performance.